You know that privacy is important. I know that privacy is important. And fortunately, in this crypto space that we share, there are some terrific privacy projects out there. But adding a privacy component to a public and transparent blockchain is difficult, really difficult. So in an attempt to offer privacy where we need it, but be more practical for the world as it is today, one of our favorite projects, Secret Network, has a new type of privacy to offer. They're calling that Decentralized Confidential Computing, or DECC. Let's evaluate it, let's take a look at what it's all about, and explore all that DECC has to offer. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. I wish you the best of luck if you choose to invest. I hope you do very, very well. Just remember that I'm not a financial or investment advisor, and so as such, this video is not official financial or investment advice. When most of us think of privacy, it tends to be all or nothing. We either have no privacy whatsoever, or every single thing that we're doing is private. And privacy advocates like that because they want everything to be private. And look, we get it, but that's just not an accurate reflection of reality. The reality is that privacy is a sliding scale. For example, if I send 20 USDT to one of my buddies to pay for something, whatever, some debt that I've incurred, I personally don't really care that much whether or not that's going to be private. But on the flip side, there's other more important data that I definitely don't want to be available in terms of publicly on a chain, including health data, maybe personal information, or investments, every investment that I hold. That's my preference at least, even though a good wallet tracker and block explorer can pretty much find out everything that I'm holding. Secret Network understands this, and they've been pioneers for a long time now on the privacy forefront. And this is what they've come up with, the tech and the name of DECC, or again, Decentralized Confidential Computing. Unlike full privacy, where there's either an on or an off switch, with DECC you can shield some of your most sensitive information and leave other information public. And that, by the way, is even when both transactions are with the same dApp. So it's a real advancement in terms of privacy for the real world, for pragmatic use purposes. And Secret Network has a pretty cool event going on later this month during Consensus. On the 28th of May, there's going to be a DECC day, meaning you can register now, especially if you're already going to the conference, so Consensus that is, because this is actually going to be considered an authorized side event. So that's kind of the context. That's the technology in a nutshell. With that in mind, let's check out two great use cases for DECC and Secret Network. Today's YouTube video spotlight is sponsored by Secret Network. This is crypto's home for decentralized confidential computing. That is where you control your data. And of course, you decide what, when, and to whom you disclose your data publicly. In other words, the way it should be. Protect yourself with decentralized confidential computing from Secret Network today, plus earn over 10% staking rewards on SCRT, all while deciding who gets to see your transaction and other important data. Try the Secret Network today. Click the link that I'll include in the description of this video below. First and foremost, one of the best use cases for confidential computing is scientific applications. As I mentioned with DECC, you are in control, meaning you decide what data should be public and what other data you may want to protect and hold more closely. Nowhere is this more important than with scientific experimentation. When doing a scientific experiment, the most credible studies are what the industry calls double-blind studies. These are where neither the person receiving the treatment nor the doctor or the administrator knows who's receiving what. The idea is to completely eliminate the placebo effect and other biases, conscious or unconscious, that we express for or against the treatment. This is the gold standard of scientific studies. Again, the double-blind experiment. Okay, but what if a scientific experiment, for example, did not actually require your physical presence like these typical double-blind experiments do? What if, let's say, Johns Hopkins in Baltimore or University College Hospital in London, what if they wanted an experiment where people didn't have to come to Baltimore or London in order to participate? That opens up the field of who scientists can use in their research by 1,000, perhaps more, which could lead to significant advancements in things like medical research. With technology, therefore, like DECC, if you fit the specific parameters for a study, Johns Hopkins can use you even if you're in Singapore or Buenos Aires or Dubai or somewhere in Canada like me or in Cape Town. But with one important difference. You're in control of that all-important data. You are allowing them to use it, and they're going to pay you for that data. And you're keeping that data private except for the specific researcher to whom you allow access. In some cases, not even the researcher would need the data in question in order to compute it, thereby leaving only the verifiable results visible. And so this is kind of like taking the double-blind methodology to the next level. Call it triple-blind, call it something else, whatever. But the researcher and the participant don't know the treatment, and the researcher and participant don't know each other either. And in addition, as with all DECC data from Secret Network, it is encrypted for your protection, meaning no unauthorized people get to see your more sensitive data.
And so if this market pulls back hard under this level and then consolidates and comes back, we're likely to sell and stall.
And another major use case for DECC is digital deeds and ownership for RWAs, real-world assets. We have talked a lot about these on the channel. They are a major and fast-growing narrative right now in the crypto space. So imagine if you opened up an account at Schwab or Fidelity or Credit Suisse or whatever you wanted to invest. But then every time you invest and every project in which you invest, whether stocks, bonds, real estate, currencies, whatever, everyone can see exactly what you buy, when you buy it, how much you're buying for. That would be absolutely ridiculous. No one as a client would ever agree to that, but that's when stuff like this happens. In this scenario here, it's already bad enough the bank or the investment firm can see it, but they have to manage the paperwork for tax purposes where you live. Yet we expect RWA as a sector to be successful with this level of public disclosure. Someone good at wallet tracking and using block explorers can honestly see everything that your wallet has done. And you only need a little more investigation to credibly link that wallet to a person, to an actual individual. And don't get me wrong, I fully expect RWA as a sector is going to continue to grow and be super successful. In fact, everyone at Altcoin Buzz thinks similarly. We're all kind of on the same wavelength here. But that being said, think about this. What if you can transact on the chain that you want for an RWA transaction like fractionalized real estate, maybe tokenized stocks, or even US treasuries, but your transaction info stays private? Isn't that kind of the best of all worlds? The access you need, the investment choices that you want, and the privacy that you deserve. When RWA platforms and projects digitize their deeds and ownership, they can make that private too. This is a true, practical, real-world use case for DECC that we need right now, like today. Is someone concerned about privacy really going to set up a new burner wallet each time they invest? No, absolutely not. So keeping sensitive transactional data private is vital for RWA's success. Both the RWA platform could use DECC to privately digitize deeds, and then the buyers can use it to shield their ownership amounts from the public. It's kind of like bringing the investing data room into the 21st century in, of course, a decentralized way. And with that model, everybody wins. Transparency in blockchain is, after all, a wonderful concept, but everyone doesn't want to have access to everything at any time. And that's the essence of decentralized confidential computing. The blockchain doesn't decide. The project doesn't decide. You decide. It's your data, and who you show it to is your business. And look, as we've been talking about here, with scientific experiments and digital asset ownership, these are really just two examples among many in terms of possible use cases that we could potentially see for DECC. All of these options and choices are coming to you from the Secret Network. Maybe it's been a while since you've last checked out Secret Network, but they've made lots of improvements recently. Check out this link, which I'll include in the description below, and go see what they're up to and how DECC can help you decide what data you want to disclose publicly, when, and of course, most importantly, to whom.